Yeah, so hello all, good day. Today we'll be covering one of the most interesting spaces, I would say, and one of my most favorite personally, which is the gold segment, and the gold sector, I mean. Uh, yeah, so let's get started. Okay, so for the ones who are new to the market or who do not know much about the market, I have a few context setters here which I want to cover. So briefly, I mean broadly, the entire gold segment can be divided into two bifurcations, which is the B2B space and the retail jewelry. B2B space is basically the vendors or the players who sell jewelry, who sell gold, like normal gold, right, without the jewelry or without any designs. They sell gold directly to these small players or the retail players who are established. Okay. Okay, this is the context which is there, and then we have. Okay, so while looking at we'll be looking at the Q4 results today, but before looking at the Q4 results, we should also understand that the gold prices have risen about 80% comparing YOY, and yeah, so we will have to consider that, and and I'll explain why is this important to be noted. ठीक है. ठीक है, तीसरी बात है स्टड रेशियो. So before tracking any retail jewelry company, right? Today we'll be only covering retail, by the way. Yeah, so before tracking any retail jewelry company, right? So आपको समझना पड़ेगा स्टड रेशियो क्या होता है. तो स्टड रेशियो is basically the percentage of jewelry sold कंटेनिंग डायमंड. तो अगर कोई प्लेन ज्वेलरी खरीदता है तो वो सपोज लाइक से 1 लाख का आता है, 10 ग्राम का, जस्ट एज्यूमिंग. तो ये स्टड रेशियो वाला इसमें छोटा सा एक डायमंड का टुकड़ा डाल देंगे तो ये 1,50,000 का हो जाएगा. सो इट इज़ बेसिकली अ प्रीमियम सेगमेंट which charges higher money and which has higher margins. Okay. And then some of the recent shifts which is there. तो सारे ज्वेलर्स, सारे रिटेल ज्वेलर्स, be it Kalyan, be it Senco, be it PN Gadgil, everyone observe this trend and are very and highlight this trend literally in every con call that कि Gen Z jewelry जो है, they are very focused on lightweight jewelry in the sense they do not want purity. जो हमारे let's say our elders or our parents always want the most purest one, right, 24 karat gold. But Gen Z ka they are very focused on this design or they want more designs, they want it to be unique. उनको फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता कि गोल्ड 9 कैरेट का है, 14 कैरेट का है, 18 कैरेट का है, 22 कैरेट का है, उनको फ़र्क ही नहीं पड़ता. उनको बस डिज़ाइंस चाहिए. ठीक है, दिस इज़ वन थिंग टू कीप इन माइंड. एंड वन मोर लास्ट थिंग टू कीप इन माइंड इज़ दैट is the shift to LGD. LGD क्या है? LGD is basically lab grown diamonds. So lab grown diamonds is literally like the cheap copy of the first copy of football jerseys, right? So अगर कोई जर्सी एक्चुअली में 10,000 20,000 में बिकता है ओरिजिनल वाला, तो फर्स्ट कॉपी वाला 2,000 में मिल जाएगा, 1,000 में मिल जाएगा. तो दिस इज जस्ट लिटरली दैट लैब ग्रोन डायमंड्स आर प्रोड्यूस्ड इन द लैब. देयर इज नो scarcity of supply. वो बन सकता है तो it's very cheap. Yeah, so keeping these context in mind, let's get into the uh, retail jewelry space in India. So retail jewelry space in India, okay, before getting into it, we have to observe one more thing, like the overall trend in the market, which is the shift from अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड टू ऑर्गेनाइज्ड, है ना. तो इफ़ यू चेक विद योर पेरेंट्स, मे बी उनका एक फैमिली ज्वेलर होगा जिनसे ही उनको लेना पड़ता था हर बार. तो देयर इज दिस गाय who is connected to the family and all the jewelry purchases of the family must be made from that guy. But अभी क्या है, अभी वैसा नहीं है. everyone wants the दिक्कत ये है कि जो वो अनऑर्गेनाइज स्पेस में होता था कि दैट गाय विल से दिस इज़ 100% प्योर गोल्ड, बट जब आप बेचने जाओगे तो ये ऑर्गेनाइज प्लेयर्स बोलेंगे कि ये तो गोल्ड ही नहीं है, इसमें तो इतना इम्प्योरिटी है, ये आपको इतना चार्जेस लगेगा, आपका इतना कट होगा. तो what people have done is gradually they have shifted from the unorganized players to the organized market, right? So the organized market is literally the best option for them because they can sell it whenever they want because they purchase it from themselves. Like the gold has been purchased from the same players and you sell it back to them and they have to give you the current market price, right? So it's like a safe option for them. Cool. Now let's get down into the players which we'll be covering today. So we will be covering Titan, which is obviously the giant in the room. Then we'll be covering Kalyan, Senco, and PN Gadgil. So this almost I would say covers like the entire picture of India. Not entire. I have missed one player here, which is Tangamail. So why is that? Is because India's retail jewelry market is very geography specific, at least for most of the players. So considering exceptions such as Kalyan and Titan, most of the players are like dominant in their own geographies. सो कमिंग टू टाइटन, टाइटन इज़ अ पैन इंडिया प्लेयर। उसका कुछ 3600 स्टोर है, तो पूरे इंडिया में तनिष्क का, मिया का, सब कुछ मिला के 3600 के आसपास दुकानें हैं। And even Kalyan started as a South Indian player, and now literally it's all over India, right? They have some 500 stores, and they are all over India. Then coming to the third biggest in the of the four, which is PN Gadgil. PN Gadgil का इधर मुंबई में they are very prominent. Maharashtra is a very big, this is the biggest market for them. They have been the most trusted player here in in Maharashtra. So if you, I mean, if obviously there will be one player in every city. Jैसे in my hometown there's this player called Abharan Jewelers, which is very popular in Udupi. So यहाँ पे वही वैसे ही in Maharashtra PN Gadgil is pretty popular. So they have a very huge, trustable. They have built this trust over a period of like 3 generations. Then coming to Senco. Senco is very much concentrated in the eastern part of India, the West Bengal or उस side में. तो yeah, so they have, this is the basically the geographical split of these players. Now coming to the numbers, first we look at revenue growth obviously. So revenue growth, this is Q4 FY26 versus Q4 FY25, and this is based only on the updates, right? This is not the entire basically the not the entire result, just based on the updates. So looking at the biggest player first, obviously Titan is just amazing, right? Perfect execution. Such इतने बड़े बेस पे 4 लाख करोड़ का मार्केट कैप है, इतने बड़े बेस पे 46% growth YOY is insane, right? Is insane. Now, yeah. So obviously we'll also have to consider that gold prices have risen about 80%, right? So even if you sold, let's say, the same volume like that of the Q4 FY25, you should have made 80% growth. But yeah, so with 46% growth, obviously the volumes, this means that the volumes have dropped, right? Yeah, okay. But growing at 40% at a 4 lakh crore market cap is very insane. Okay, then coming to Kalyan obviously seems like the most ideal bet always. Compared to in almost all the quarters, it outperforms Titan and Gadgil. Yeah, so at a market cap of 46,000 crores, 64% YOY growth. Again, here we can say that the volumes have dropped again because 80%, अगर गोल्ड प्राइसेस 80% बस अब 80% से बढ़ा है और आपका रेवेन्यू सिर्फ 64 से बढ़ा है, तो obviously there is a volume drop. Okay, but there is a reason for both of these, and I'll explain why. Okay, then we have Gadgil growing at 124%, right? Insane numbers. 124% क्यों है, इस पे आएंगे हम. This means that there is volume growth in Gadgil too. Got it? Okay. Senco वेरी एवरेज रिजल्ट. आप इतने छोटे बेस पे 5000 करोड़ के मार्केट कैप में आप टाइटन के ग्रोथ रेट से भी नहीं ग्रो कर रहे हो, तो सीम्स अ वेरी लिटिल डिसअपॉइंटिंग. 46% YOY ग्रोथ ठीक है. आई मीन इफ यू लुक एट absolutely, if you look at it, seems like a good result, but relatively comparing it to the other players in the market, it doesn't seem so interesting. Cool. Next we'll move on to SSG. Similar numbers, 34% for Senco being the lowest, 45 and 48 for Titan and Kalyan, and then we have 86% for PN Gadgil, which is a very impressive number. Cool. So now I'll explain why is Gadgil at 124% and Kalyan and Titan at 64 and 46%. So, what I explained in earlier, right, when in the context, which is the stud ratio. Stud ratio is what? Percentage of diamond jewelry sold as a, like, if you have sold 10 diamond jewelry out of 100, it's 10%. Okay. The stud ratio for PN Gadgil is at, where is it? Yeah, it's here, which is 9%. So, most of the jewelry are plain gold jewelry. So, अगर उनका 90% जो सेल्स होता है वो प्लेन गोल्ड है और गोल्ड के प्राइसेस 80% से बड़े हैं, तो आइडियली देयर नंबर शुड बी हायर देन द अदर प्लेयर्स, राइट? Yeah, so that is the exact reason why PN Gadgil has a revenue growth of 124% because its stud ratio is so low compared to Titan and Kalyan. Kalyan's stud ratio is at 31%, right? So even if the gold prices have gone up so much, if you're selling diamond jewelry, your value growth will not be so strong. So that is why it is at 64%. And coming to Titans 2, it's the same 26% का स्टड रेशियो है. तो अगर 80% से गोल्ड प्राइस बढ़ा है, आपका रेवेन्यू 80% से नहीं बढ़ेगा क्योंकि आपका स्टड रेशियो इतना है. ठीक है, cool. If you understood that, that's great. Okay, then coming to the main thing to track in a gold jewelry company, store growth. Currently, the behemoth in the room is, as I said, Titan. It has 3,600 stores, right? Insane level of market reach. ठीक है. So, though did not give a guidance here, it's a little unfortunate that we do not have a guidance here. Coming to Kalyan, Kalyan's store count stands at 507 as at end of FY 2026, and they are expecting to grow the stores at 170 for until FY 28, FY 27 नहीं, FY 28. So 2 साल में they will grow it at around 40% का, they will increase the store count by 40%. So अगर 18% का मतलब एक साल के लिए कुछ, if we take 90 stores, it will be around 18% का growth in stores. Coming to PN Gadgil. PN Gadgil, as I said, they have been a Maharashtrian player for a very long time, and since October 2025 or Q2 of FY25, they have expanded their reach in UP and Bihar. So this is even after like 3-4 quarters, this is still in the initial stage, so this has to be tracked. हो सकता है उनका margins थोड़ा dip हो जाए because of the initial expenditure and a lot of market reach, which marketing activities which they will have to do. Cool. Yeah, so their store growth, stores currently stands at 78, right? So the management expects it to grow by 25 new stores, like reaching around 103 by FY27, which is a 32% store growth rate in a year. Then coming to Senco. Senco seems to be that very average player in the room. आप इतने छोटे मार्केट कैप में, 5,000 के मार्केट कैप में, you are saying I'll grow my stores at 10%, which is very, very mediocre. So this makes Senco's deal very, very mediocre and uninteresting. Then, so the three players left are Kalyan, Titan, and Gadgil, right? So obviously, Titan being a very large player can be a very consistent option, but for the ones who are willing to risk the capital and aim for more than market average growth, Kalyan and the PN Gadgil are the options you are left with. Now the issue with, I would choose Kalyan over PN Gadgil because PN Gadgil का जो management है, so in the Q3 of FY25, that is the December ended quarter, PN Gadgil के management आके बोलते हैं कि भाई हम FY27 में 18% से रेवेन्यू ग्रोथ करेंगे, विच इज़ वेरी वेरी क्वेश्चनेबल. बिकॉज अगर आप 30% से आपका स्टोर ग्रोथ करने वाले हो और आप बोल रहे हो कि आपका गाइडेंस 20% रेवेन्यू ग्रोथ है, seems to be a little questionable. हाँ, there is an element of people saying this is a this is the ideal case for under promise and over deliver. I mean, it ठीक है, makes sense, but if management is only a very डरा सा बोल रहा है, तो it does not give the investor a confidence to put money there. So ideal choice here is, for me at least, is Kalyan. So seems to be the best player in the retail gold jewelry market right now. Yeah, and if we look at the peg ratio also, it comes to around 0.5 or 0.6 abhi, because of the stock being corrected almost like 50-60% because of a rumor about इनकम टैक्स एलिगेशंस और कुछ फ्रॉड का एलिगेशंस लगे थे, तो स्टॉक का प्राइस आधा हो गया. तो सीम्स टू बी अ वेरी अट्रैक्टिव डील. या दैट्स इट फॉर दिस वीडियो. थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग.